I entered that close, and before I knew it, five guys came out from nowhere. One of them hit me with a bottle. I fell on the floor. I was pleading with them. The street lights went off. I could see five male figures. I couldn't defend myself. I was gang raped at that point.
Wow.
By five men. And Sister Precious, these are things that happen in marriages. It is normal for an average African man to cheat on his wife. Cheating is very natural. I became suicidal. I started keeping to myself. I now started experiencing forgetfulness. We had a conversation. Cheating is my deal breaker. If you cheat on me, I would leave you without thinking twice. If you flirt with somebody other than me, I would leave you because I believe that I'm a speck.
Casually serious with Ayomiko Emmanuel.
You know, he said that to me, and I was like, is this one a pastor?
Is it the same pastor your man came to narrate the issue?
Yes, the same pastor. So this was the consolation he was giving me. That, so in my mind, I was like, okay, if it's normal for an average African man to cheat, that means you're cheating on your wife. Because you cannot justify nonsense. I wasn't expecting him to say that. There's a normal stereotype that African men cheat or that all men cheat, but I choose not to buy that because I think it's very devilish.
But these people you are meeting from one church to the other. What happened to these churches you are going to? Am I the only one thinking like this? First, the church cannot accommodate you, it sent you out. Secondly, your pastor is justifying
All men are cheat.
All men are cheat. And well, all men
are not cheat. So
what do you have to say about this?
all men are not cheat. I think.
So was that? Well, I don't know. Could it be that the pastor had another agenda? Because if he's telling you something like that, you know, somehow it can suggest to me that, you know, the pastor is wetting floor.
Yes, for him.
Let me put it that way. Maybe he's wetting floor for himself or something.
Yeah, for himself.
So did he push button?
He made attempts, but he was not vocal about it.
Oh, he made attempts.
He made.
How obvious was it?
So it was very obvious because the day we had that conversation, he was sitting close to me. My son was on the floor, and he was, Precious, come. I'll sit beside him. He would put his hand like around me, and I was not just so comfortable. After he made that statement, he could hug me on a random day. I won't feel anything because he was like my father in the Lord. But for the fact that he made for the fact that he made that statement, I was like, why would you? I didn't voice it, but in my mind I was like, why would you make such a statement? It was later on I realized that this man was supporting my ex because your so-called church daughter had an issue, and all you could do was to plan with the man to take her child away from her. I didn't know.
Sorry. Let me come in there. Was it your ex's church?
We were attending the same church.
Oh, two of you
I was attending there. He was going to. Okay, let me know mention name.
I'm not here. If you mention name, look at that
person. Okay. It was going to a particular church.
Okay.
So when he met me, I told him I would not go to that church.
Okay.
So he said, okay, he could join my church. So he joined my church.
Okay. I asked because you mentioned it, like from what you said, obviously you were supporting your ex. So I thought maybe your ex knew him.
No. He got to know him through me.
So it's a thing of man supporting man.
Exactly. Yoruba man supporting a Yoruba man.
Did you have to mention Yoruba? I mean, Yoruba man for crying out loud.
Sorry.
Did you have to mention Yoruba man? I'm a Yoruba man. I'm very sure not all Yoruba men. I can beat my chest, and I have Yoruba men here, where we are now, that can also vouch to. You move the Yoruba.
Okay, so
he's a man.
This is the thing. You know why I said so? I got to find out on the long run. Okay.
But on a more serious note, actually, what you said there is a big issue. Tribalism somehow plays its part in the society, and people have sometimes choose to place tribalism over humanity.
Human emotions.
You understand? So I think what you said there, though we joked about it, but can about a very big issue. So it looked to me like it was because he was from the same tribe as the man, and so you looked like the outsider.
Yes.
So you know, he probably didn't want to feel like a bastard supporting somebody from another tribe.
Yes.
Of
And they were
course,
from the same place.
same place.
Yes, same
So
place.
it's actually a big issue, to be honest. So, but sorry,
So
continue.
I saw so many red flags, but I did not know that they were red flags. I mean, obviously now I can smell a narcissist from a distance now because I am well oriented about these things. But then, based on the fact that okay, I was just healing from a rape incident, I was vulnerable, I was naive, everything was going on at that point. This man made a statement then. He said, when I get married to you, you change your SIM card. You delete your Facebook, you delete your Instagram, you delete all the. In fact, you will not even need to delete.
Is it the same ex that was texting other person?
Good, the same ex that was texting other person. So he said I was going to. He was going to get me a new SIM. And do you know how I got to find that message on his phone? We were using the same phone, the same passwords. He could access my phone anytime. I could also access his phone, but I chose not to. So that particular day, I decided to snoop because I was hearing conversations like, "You're speaking with this particular girl. Why? What business do you have? Okay, she's your friend's ex. What business do you have? You tell me, you're trying to join them together as what? Marriage matchmaker or what?" So there was no pointless reason as to why he was having constant communication with that person. I had a friend in my life then, a male friend, but as I got married to this man, I had to cut off.
You are very quick to cut off.
I felt I was being the typical virtuous Nigerian wife,
which is how it should be actually.
Place boundaries and all. So that was what happened, and a whole lot of things, so many things that I saw, but I didn't know that these were actually red flags.
Can you name one or two of them for educational reasons, so that if there are persons who is watching this, you might want to look out for red flags, because red flags are actually too ignored. They're too ignored in relationships these days, and it comes back to haunt the persons in the relationship. So can you name like one or two of them?
Okay, so he told me at first that he would get me a new SIM card. And there was a point whereby he said, there was a point where I was taking my son to. There was a point where he said I wasn't going to be working. I'll just be at home.
Full housewife.
Full housewife.
Full option housewife.
I was just going to be at home. So I got a job through a church member, and I was going to work. I was taking my son along. It was freaking stressful. Imagine taking a toddler to an office where we have corporate staff. We had people that were working with us. So I would back my son. I'll be climbing 2-story building almost every 30 minutes because I had to ensure that the people upstairs were doing their job. Now I asked this man, please give me money, let me register my son in the crèche that is just close to my office. He said he didn't have money. Okay, no problem. I was still enduring. He now started complaining. Okay, there was a time whereby he now had off days at his workplace. On the days where he would be at home, okay, please let this boy stay with you. Let me go to work. You say no, carry your son along. Do you want? Okay, so you don't want people to know that you have given birth. Who are you keeping sheep for? Who are you showing sheep? Who are you looking beautiful for? This man had to tell my pastor that since I got my job, that I started dressing nice, I started wearing trousers, I started making my hair, I started fixing my nails, I started fixing lashes, I started looking good.
Sounds to me like insecurity.
Yes,
he was so insecure.
He was a very insecure person.
So it looks to me like he wants to eat his cake and have it.
Yes.
He was trying to preserve you in a manner that you'll be for himself alone, but he wanted to explore.
Yes.
So he does. He
didn't want me to explore.
He didn't want you to.
Do you know what my so-called pastor said? After I told the pastor that I was dressing this, I was looking this, the pastor now said, and I quote, Sister Precious, you're not supposed to be doing all this. Your husband said he wants you to be wearing skirt and blouse, boo-boo. Wear it for him. You're not a married woman. You're not supposed to be wearing skimpy. I wasn't wearing skimpy wears, but I was wearing fitted wears.
Okay.
And God blessed me with a very good body that I don't look like somebody that has had a child. Yes.
wears, and there's you notice that? Then there's so which one were you wearing?
So I was always looking
Is it
very yes.
Okay.
I was always looking very hot, very sweet. I was working in a fashion school. I was managing a fashion school. I had to dress it. So I would dress corporately with my heels and I would still back my son. I was very proud. I was taking my son everywhere. If you check my phone, about 90% of my pictures and videos are that of my son. I really bonded with this boy. I took pictures of him every day, every single day till he clocked a year. That was how well we bonded. Now this man, he went about saying stuff like, "Oh, I would keep my son and go out." Where did I have time to go out? When did I have time? He said I would keep my son, I would just keep my son with random people. I would go out. This was what I was doing. Whenever I had to go to the market to get office supplies for the office, I'll keep my son with a woman, a church member.
Okay.
A very mature woman. Everybody knew her. So what was your problem? If you had a problem with your insecurity, why not talk it? Like, let's have a conversation. Now, long story short, a whole lot of things went out. When a man tells you, "Oh, you change your SIM card," or "When I marry you, will not be coming outside," or "You have to," when a man sees you looking a certain type of way and he tells you, "Oh, when we get married, you're going to stop looking," yeah, that's a very big red flag. Because you saw all these things, you saw me on all these things. I was wearing trousers
before you came.
So why would you want to come and change me? Now you're not even giving me reasons why you need me to change. You're just telling me, "Oh, you must stop doing this." And this person we're talking about has this patriarchal mentality that women are meant to be in the room. Their job is in the room. You're not supposed to be talking when I'm talking. I'm a man. That's the kind of mentality he has. He's a breed of Igbo and Yoruba. So he has this archaic mentality of, "Oh, women, just when a man is talking, don't talk. Why will you talk? Why will you talk back at your spouse?"
Military husband.
That's the kind of person he is.
Military husband.
Long story short, a whole lot of things went on. I became suicidal. I started keeping to myself. I now started experiencing forgetfulness. I started to forget things. I have a diary on my phone where I'll write so many things. Now, this man will tell me stuff like, "I picked you from the trash. I will return you to the trash. I will kill you and nobody will know. Nobody will even know anything."
You went that far?
He went that far.
What did you do?
I locked up.
And that's the reason.
Yes, I stopped talking to him. He became very irritating. When it came to sex, that was a tough job. Like I used to feel so filthy whenever he touched me because I couldn't imagine myself being with this kind of person. You're not the kind of person I want in my life. It was just circumstances that brought us together. Intellectually, I'm higher than you. Mentally, I'm higher than you. Socially, I'm higher than you. I'm not bragging, but like we're not compatible. But I just felt okay, I could make things work out. We could make things work out. You get? How can you tell somebody that you claim you love that you picked them from trash and that you return them back to trash? He would say all manner of condescending words.
Maybe sorry. Maybe he's working with lumber. In lumber, you pick trash, return to trash. He would say that was a very hard thing to
terrible. Say. Now, when I now told people that I was being abused, they didn't know because they were not seeing scars on my body.
Okay.
I was being emotionally abused, mentally abused, verbally abused, and financially abused. Financially abused in the sense that he would want me to collect my salary and give to him.
Was he not working?
He was working. I was practically holding the feeding. This man would give me 5,000 naira for 2 weeks. And I had a toddler. For crying out loud. I was a breastfeeding mom. What is 5,000 naira for 2 weeks? And we were living inside the Tele, Ogun State. My office was at Gowon Estate.
Is it for Ewa? Is it for Agbado?
I don't know.
Wow.
And I wasn't even complaining, yeah. Okay. I was using my own stuff to balance up. I was trying to hold front the family and all. I wasn't complaining. And I didn't even see it as, oh, this was not what I was supposed to do. You understand? I was still doing everything peacefully. He cost me my job. After we split up, he went to my office, said all manner of things, labeled. He practically turned people against me. I know some of my church people are going to see this video. Some of my former church members are going to see this video because I left the church.
Okay.
I want you guys to understand the situation, even though I don't care. Whatever you have in mind about me, I don't care. You get? But this man has, I'm sorry. I can't hear things where I don't know about myself from people.
What are you sorry about? Let it out. Is it the PJ? Talk it.
I was basically hearing things. I would hear things. I'll be like, really? I was hearing things from people. They said when I left him, they said, oh, Precious, even the church people. Do you not know that a church mommy, a church elder in the church, after I left, she called me one day out of the blues, and she was like, hey, Precious, I don't know why they hear word safe. Why you leave your husband? You know say na all men they cheat now. Na new thing.
Who has bewitched us by
I don't
all
know.
Men they cheat, all men they cheat.
I don't know. She said, and you will be say you don't born one. You say another man will feel accept you as you don't born one. That was what this woman told me. The pastor's wife now said the same thing.
Oh.
She said, Sister Precious, you have just forget about everything and go on with the marriage. That one, it's a normal thing. I refuse to be that foolish, virtuous woman who will accept nonsense because she wants to prove a point or because she wants to stay married. Marriage to me is not an achievement. I see it as a plus. It's just an addition. With or without marriage, I can succeed. And I can categorically tell you that since I left this person, he's a good person, but he allowed his weaknesses overshadow him. Since I left this person, I have been at peace. When I was with him, I was having high blood pressure. It got so bad that I started having chest pain.
At your age?
At my age. I was forgetting things. If I remember something, it was so bad that whenever I remember how he spoke to me or how he treated me, I'll write it out so that I don't forget.
Wow.
It was that bad. Like, he messed up in my head. He turned people against me, even my own family. Even my own family. He turned my family, my parents against me.
Did he go about, like, he practically went about?
Yes, he went about saying different things. Oh, Precious did this, Precious did that, Precious did. I know the funniest thing. The people he was talking to, I expected them to an extent defend me,
or even just maybe reach out to you.
Yes, okay, this is what I'm hearing. What do you have to say? Nobody did that. Like, even my best friend, when he called her, said all manner of things to her, I expected this girl to defend me. But she just practically went ahead with what he said and she started giving me attitude. And I was like, you know what? This friendship is gone. This was somebody that I've fought for her. That's not the gist. So, when I felt like, no, I couldn't do this anymore, he started monitoring my movements. I started seeking solace at the office. I would close by 6, but I would not leave till 8. My phone would ring. Once I see that my phone ring, I started having PTSD. Once my phone rings like this, my mind would just cut. I would be so scared. Whenever he calls, I am literally shivering. Because what does this man want again? If he's not insulting me, he's talking down on me. He's reminding me of where he met me, how we met. Did I do anything wrong to have told you about my life history, to have told you about my experiences? They say when you meet somebody, you tell them about yourself. Yeah. Like, I felt like I did wrong. I felt like I shouldn't have told him anything at all.
He was using it against you, yeah?
He was using it against me. He would seize my phone that I bought with my money.
And you were just You were just trying to be a very good woman, a transparent woman there. Okay, so let me ask you, because this seems like a very long story. Let me ask you, at what point did you call it quits?
Okay, so it got to the point where I'll go to church or I'll go out, and he would ask my younger brother to lock me out. My younger brother was living with us.
Okay.
So he would ask him to lock me out. He shouldn't allow me enter inside the house. It went on. You know, he disrespected me so much in the presence of my brother, and that one could not do anything. There were times when my brother wanted to retaliate, but I just had to, for peace to reign. So it continued till one particular day. I was supposed to go to church. I told him I was going to church. So he was like, okay. Now the office where I was working, we had a hostels. Okay. So I was occupying one of the rooms. So most times when I'm not able to go back home, I just stay back to save expenses and all. Okay. So I told him that evening, Saturday afternoon, that I was going to church, but I won't be able to come back that night. I'll just sleep over at the office, then from there go to church on Sunday morning. He said no, that I shouldn't do that, that I should come back. I said I don't have money for tiffy. The only money I was having was what would take me to church and bring me back. He refused. He said if I did not come back home that day, I shouldn't come back to his house again. And that was what I picked. I realized that no, I had endured enough. No. I had endured enough. So
what did you do? Did you leave it?
I left the house. I was having just few clothes at the office, so I left the house. I went to one of my church friends' place. I'd already left my former church, so I was attending another redeemed church. Okay. So I went to the lady's place. I was there. Now this man, because of the fact that he didn't know where I was, he started sending random messages to my Facebook male friends. I would have screenshots. I have evidence, a lot of evidence. I have voice notes. He was threatening everybody.
Oh, serious?
He was threatening everybody, sending threats to everybody that anybody that took his wife, they should release his wife. That sure they know that Precious is married and she has a son with him. You can imagine. So that day, I said I was never going to go back. He called the pastor. My pastor called. I told him I was not going back. After I left that day, do you know that this man prevented me from seeing my son for 2 months?
Wow.
2 good months.
The son was with him?
My son was with him. He prevented me from seeing my son. So anytime I want to go and see him, he would say stuff like, if you come to my house, I would kill you. Oh, wow. On several occasions, he had tried to hurt me. There was a time he pushed me. I hit my head on the wall, but that one is story for another day. So
this story looks long.
Very long.
It looks long. I don't think we can exhaust it today. But for the sake of this particular release, I want to ask you, maybe some other time, like I've said in previous episode, if need be that we bring the same guest over to talk, we would not hesitate to, because life is a continuous learning ground. You understand? So, but I want to ask you quickly, what lessons have you learned from this in summary, and what is your message? If you had to pass a message to people out there, what message would you pass to them?
So the major things I've learned in this my experience is that first thing first, you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to have an actual job or a business that is bringing you money. You shouldn't just say you want to stay at home and become a housewife. Being a housewife now in this generation is outdated. No matter how little the income might be, have something doing. Have an alternative motive. Because the truth is that a whole lot of people are going through this. But when they think of how will I live, what would people say? I am a natural, resilient person. I don't care about what people say. So that was one of the factors that kept me going, regardless of everything that I was going through. So have a job, have an escape route. If you're going through domestic violence or you're in a relationship or marriage with a narcissist, you need to understand that narcissists do not change. Prayers cannot change them. Having a banging body cannot change a man that is a cheat. You don't have to stress yourself. If you feel like, oh, you're doing enough and this person is still going outside, just the best thing you can do is work out. If you ask me, the society we are in would say that the divorce is a sin, you have to stay back and pray for your husband, hold your home. Fine, your choice is valid. But I decided to walk out, and I can tell you for real that this is the best decision I've made for myself. I sleep well. I no longer have panic attack, PTSD. I am glowing.
Obviously.
I am looking
hallelujah. She is glowing. Hallelujah. Well, talking about divorce being a sin, I listened to a man of God in this country interview another man of God. I don't know. Okay, it's safe to mention their name. So you might want to jump on it. Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo interviewed Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, and they discussed the subject of divorce. All right. So I would want you to go there and don't die in silence. Go to Pastor Kingsley's YouTube page. Listen to this particular interview with Dr. Olumide Oni and listen to what they said about divorce, so you don't die in silence. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brethren, we have listened to Precious's experience, how we've navigated through our journey of love, heartbreak, and resilience, and how she embraced the complexities of relationship and still found how to celebrate the strength that she derived from each chapter of love. And this has made her who she is today, and by the grace of God, she's glowing.
Yes.
Say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise God. Hallelujah. So I want to quickly do a recap. I forgot, I skipped this. You might want to follow Precious Nelson. I think she does, the only page she has now is her Facebook page. I forgot to say that at the start. And what's the Facebook handle?
My Facebook handle is Precious Nelson Chidera.
Precious Nelson Chidera. So you'll find her on Facebook. So Miss Precious Nelson Chidera,
yes,
we want to thank you for being on our show, our podcast. Thank you for being our guest. Right, so guys, we have learned from Precious Nelson Chidera with lessons learned and everything. She's talked about, if you remember, we talked about something like this in our last podcast. It's about adding value to yourself, so that even if anything happens, there's something for you to fall back on and build on top of. Add value to yourself, and then don't die in silence. If you're suffering any form of domestic, mental, financial, emotional abuse, don't be too virtuous to die. Born again people, virtuous people, die. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Don't kill yourself. Voice out if you want, if you have to, if you need to. If you can't confide in anybody, look for somebody to confide in. Talk to the person and do what is best for you. And we trust God that God is going to see you through. So this is it. Add value to yourself. We trust you've learned from this, and then don't die in silence. You the shame, you are dying in silence. It's bad for your health. So speak up when you need to. So, ladies and gentlemen, that will be all for today. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Casually Serious. I want to thank our guest, Miss Precious Nelson Chidera. You can follow her on Facebook at Precious Nelson Chidera. Precious Nelson Chidera. But mind you, if you're going there, go there with a genuine intention and a genuine love. She has said with sense. She will give you what though. You go back to where you came from. All right, I want to say thank you for being with us. Thanks for being our guest. We appreciate your presence.
Thank you for having me.
And hopefully we would love to see you again on the show.
Yes.
Come and give us. We're not praying for more bad experiences.
No.
But when everything turns rosy, you now come and give us the rosy version.
Yes, I'll come and give you guys the good news. But for now, I am seriously and casually single.
I like that. She's seriously and casually single, and she said that casually,
yes,
but she's serious.
Casually. I'm serious.
She's serious.
You can shoot your
shot.
Another thing you need to know is that I can cook.
I
am a chef. So if you are coming, just know that
food is settled.
You get the point now.
If you are Wabia, Abolonjaku, long throat, come around. All right, so thank you very much for joining us on this particular episode. See you guys some other time. I remain Olutoye Ayomeko Emmanuel, signing out on Casually Serious. Bye.